Welcome to Thronecast, the official guide to Game of Thrones from Sky Atlantic HD. So the biggest show on telly is back, and we talk to Rose Lesie, aka Ygritte the Wildling. TV critic and Thrones obsessive Grace Dent tells us what she loved about episode 1, and we'll have a sneaky look at what episode 2 will bring. Now, I'll ask you one last time. Why do you want to join us? So firstly, for those puerile people interested in this kind of thing, we had our first nudity this week at 12 minutes and 30 seconds in, when we saw Bronn with that nice young lady. However, at 48 minutes and 20 seconds, we saw a man get his nipple sliced off, which brings this week's nipple countdown to just 1. You may want to adjust your charts accordingly. And that was, of course, when we saw Khaleesi buying a slave army, the Unsullied. I don't mean to be fussy, but if I was amassing a slave army, I'd maybe want them just a little bit sullied. And she was buying them from that slave trader, Krasnus Mo Naklos. But what was that language he was speaking? Here's our linguistics correspondent, Annabel Port.
Thanks, Geoff. The language you heard was Valyrian, which is spoken in Astapor. With me is the Professor of Linguistics at Ipswich Polytechnic. Can you tell me a bit more about Valyrian?
Scuba didn't what?
Thanks, Prof. Back to you, Geoff, in the studio.
And a brilliant episode, of course, but so many unanswered questions. Where's Arya? What's going on with Bran and Rickon? What's happening with the Kingslayer? Now, fortunately, in the couple of years I've been doing this show, I've become close personal friends with many of the cast members. So I'm going to get on the phone now, Nikolai, who plays Jaime Lannister. Must be a bad signal. So to talk about this week's episode, Valar Dohaerys, I'm joined by iconoclast Grace Dent.
Hello.
Your Grace.
Your Grace.
No, your Grace. So what did you think of the episode?
Oh, well, I wasn't let down by it. You know, I was slightly apprehensive coming up to this because this meant a lot to me, coming back for this third season. This meant a lot. This was my Christmas day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't want it to be a letdown, but, you know, it began and it was strong, and then we saw the giant for the first time. He was with the wildlings, and this was something quite fantastic that I'd never seen before. I felt really strangely happy that Jon had gone over with the wildlings. When I see, you know, Jon Snow being, he seems kind of happy. There's like his face seems more relaxed since he met Ygritte. And
she's very fetching in that parka coat. Now onto Tyrion with his dad. I mean, that was a heartbreaking scene, wasn't it? Do you think he's got daddy issues?
How could he not have daddy issues?
Yeah.
I think that I was quite amazed at how laid open bare the whole storyline was there. There wasn't really anything cryptic there. It wasn't kind of like a play for power. He went straight in and he said, you know, I really think that, you know, I'm entitled to these lands. And he basically got told, you know, he killed your own mother.
Which is perhaps a little unfair.
And you're a dwarf. And you shame us. And it's so frustrating because he is actually quite a good leader, you know, and he's been.
I mean, he's demonstrated he's so smart and so clever, and he masterminded the whole Blackwater thing, and he's getting no credit for that. And then the other person we should talk about really is Marjorie, who is the new Lady Diana, it seems.
She's the new Heather Mills McCartney, isn't she? I do really like Marjorie because I think she's got her head screwed on and knows exactly what she wants.
Oh yeah, she always wanted to be a princess, and that's what she's going for.
And she actually wants to sit on the Iron Throne. I don't think that she thinks she has to live by man's counsel, and I think she realises that, you know, she'll use her sexuality to get to that point.
Grace, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, if there's one thing I'm sure of, it's that you know nothing. Nothing. So to help to solve that, I had a chat with Ygritte the Wildling. It's Rose Lesie. Rose Lesie, hello.
Hello.
No, hello.
No, hello.
No, hello.
Hello.
Oh,
there
for
it
that.
is.
Do you know, I'm a northerner. I can show you my papers if you like.
Okay, fantastic.
And I was absolutely convinced you were like a fellow Northwest person.
Wow. Oh, well, that's a lovely thing to hear. That is what I try to fool as many people as I can.
It worked. I was shocked
good.
and stunned. Hello, Crow.
Hello, Crow. You know nothing. Yeah, exactly.
Tell us about Ygritte, like, in your opinion. Would you like her? If you were describing her as a friend of yours, how would you sum her up?
She has tendencies to be fairly annoying, especially in the book. I think she does say "you know nothing, Jon Snow" a lot.
Good to have a catchphrase, though.
It is good to have a catchphrase,
yeah. Brucey well for all these years.
Yeah.
Remember
Very
that.
true.
Yeah, it's a good
Very
idiom
true.
for show business.
I shouldn't be too rude about it, should I? I love my catchphrase. I would describe her as being fiercely independent and knowing her own mind and tough. But yet, you know, she balances that with playfulness, and I mean, she loves taking out of Jon Snow. She really, really does, and aggravating him and seeing what kind of reaction he's going to get, and that is a lot of fun.
And of course, the wildlings are an ancient clan from the frozen north.
Indeed.
Was that difficult for you to relate to?
Yes, I suppose it was, but having kind of like been born and bred up in Scotland, I suppose it wasn't too distant.
Because your family goes back ages, like 15th century. Your dad is chieftain of the clan?
Indeed, it does go way back, for a while.
What does he have to do as chieftain of the clan?
Not much.
Address the haggis on Burns Night?
That, and also cut the turkey on Christmas. Yeah.
Right. And the hair colour, of course, is a sign of the frozen north.
Indeed,
We have Celtic
it is.
blood.
Yes, we do.
Were you ostracised as a child?
I was. And do you know what? I am one of 5 in my family. And then obviously I have my parents, so one of 7, kind of like in a hole. And I am the only ginger.
Is that right?
Everybody else has dark hair. I am, exactly, I'm the postman's daughter.
And did you like Iceland? No, they really go for it in Iceland in terms of nights out. Did you have long nights out in Iceland?
Well, do you know, we were so isolated. I'm very much in the middle of nowhere. So even for season 2 and certainly for season 3, like, we flew into Reykjavik, and then for season 2, we then drove 8 hours kind of like down the southern coast to, the hotel that the cast and crew were staying in. It was barren landscape. I mean, it was incredible because it was perfect for the show. It was vast and immense and just incredible. But as a result, there was like one hotel bar, and we would all
drink it dry.
Drink it
every
dry,
night.
Exactly. Take solace in the vodka.
Yeah. It didn't get Lord of the Flies amongst the cast and crew.
No, thank heavens it didn't.
Yes.
No. We were well behaved.
Will you do it one more time for me?
Craw.
It's good.
Craw.
Rose Lesie, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And if that wasn't enough for you, you can watch the whole interview plus a load more great stuff on our website. It's sky.com/Game of Thrones. And if you want to interact with us, you can. There's Facebook, Twitter, and of course, Raven Delivery. And speaking of the internet, here's someone who's read the whole internet and sieved out the bits relevant to Game of Thrones fans. It's Annabel Port. Hello.
Hello, Geoff.
What have you got for us?
Well, first of all, I have some news about George R.R. Martin. He's just signed a new overall deal with HBO, which means he's going to carry on as executive producer on Game of Thrones for at least another 2 years. And also, there's going to be development of some of his other books into some televisual spectaculars.
I love a spectacular.
So do I.
I mean, that does suggest Showgirls, but that wouldn't fit him with his pastouff.
Now, some other things that have been bouncing off our walls into our inbox, twittering all the way. Firstly, if you're anything like me, when you're watching Game of Thrones, there might be some beautiful, spectacular, climatic scene, you're really enjoying it, but you can't help thinking, I wonder what this would look like if it was recreated in Lego. Well,
it's the only thing that's ever on my mind.
Exactly, but you don't need to think about it anymore because there is LegoGameofThrones.com.
At last.
At last. Many key scenes completely recreated in Lego, which is great because I always thought there was something of the Lego man about King Joffrey. So it's a real thrill to see that actually happen.
And a beheading is very easy to do in Lego, I imagine.
Yes, very easy, yes. Finally, the very best thing I found this week, the cheeses of Westeros.
Really?
I bring you Cheddar Stark.
Okay.
Brie of Tarth. And
not bad.
My favourite, damn you, Joffrey.
You have to leave now.
Okay.
Right, let's find out more about this army of the Unsullied, and we'll ask the only people that George R.R. Martin himself relies on to remind him about what he wrote. They've never killed any babies to prove their worth. A few kittens. It's Elio and Linda from Westeros.org. Hello.
Hi, Geoff.
Hi.
Hello. So tell me about these Unsullied then. Who are they? What are they?
The Unsullied are these unique soldiers created in Astapor, one of the 3 cities of Slavers Bay, which is the center of the slave trade in Essos, which is the eastern continent.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you about is Mance Rayder. So we met him for the first time, and it was mentioned that he used to be one of the Night's Watch.
Yes, he actually started out as a wildling. He was an orphan that the Night's Watch took in and raised, and then he became one of the brothers of the Night's Watch. But there was too much wildling blood in him. He loved wildling music and he loved wildling women, so discipline and oaths of celibacy didn't really sit well with him, and eventually he deserted.
Well, I'm going to download me some wildling music. Elio, Linda, I'll let you get back to your own army on westeros.org, and we'll speak next week.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
So that's your lot. Game of Thrones is back Monday night on Sky Atlantic HD. You can watch the latest episode anytime you like, on demand or Sky Go. Oh, and speaking of on demand, you can gorge on seasons 1 and 2. They're up there now. Before we go, here's a sneaky peek of next week's episode.
I want you to tell me the truth about this Joffrey.
You must do whatever you need to do. You are the king.
We need to move. We don't know who might be after us.
No one even knows we're alive.
Where were you? What did you see?
Dead crows.
This march is a distraction. Have you lost faith in our cause?
Who are you? Who do you fight for?